Okay, it's recording. I hope this time it works well. I have to stay here. I really want to go over there to make the class more interesting, have a chat with you. I'm going to stay here. Anyway, this course, Smart Tech, okay? Actually, this course, this class, will be shared by, I think, 4 professors, okay? So if you check in the attendance sheet, it only shows weeks number 2, 3, 4. So I will be here only for 3 weeks right now, and then next week, and week number 4. Right now is week number 2. Okay, so I'll just teach you for 3 weeks. We will talk about blockchain and cryptocurrencies. That's one part of smart tech. Then other professors will teach you on big data analysis, AI, artificial intelligence, and things like that. All right? Okay, so I'm here just for 3 weeks. A bit of introduction to that. My name is, so if you go to Moodle over here, let's go there again, you can see the materials that I upload to Moodle. The first PPT for today over here. Where is it? It's here. That video is without sound. So as you see, my name is Dr. Buch-Luriev. I guess it's difficult for you guys to pronounce, so let's make it easy. Just Buch. It's okay, right? So call me Buch. I'm here just for 3 weeks, weeks 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And what we are talking about is blockchain as part of smart tech. Okay. And of course, we are also going to talk about cryptocurrencies because the main application for blockchain is cryptocurrencies, and the first ever blockchain that came out in 2009 was a cryptocurrency, was Bitcoin. Bitcoin was built on the first ever blockchain coming out in 2009. Okay. So we're going to talk about that. I've changed my plans a little bit, so I'm not going to start with the top of the slides. I'm first going to move to the motivation part. I'm first going to talk a little bit about acceptance of cryptocurrencies in many countries. I've taught this similar class a couple of years ago, so I'm sorry I haven't changed this information. So perhaps this data is already better since a couple of years ago, but at least a couple of years ago, according to coinmap.org, there were, as you see, several places in Taipei, Kaohsiung, Taichung, that accept cryptocurrency payments. Still very few, of course, if you go anywhere with this regular money, it can be accepted in millions of places, right? How many shops are in Kaohsiung? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of shops just in Kaohsiung that accept local NT dollars, right? For cryptocurrency, the acceptance is still small, but it is growing, okay? In quite a few places in Taiwan, many countries all over the world. And that's in regular shops or stores that you walk into. If you just check online, there are many places that accept cryptocurrencies. Even big companies like Microsoft, for example. Bloomberg is a big finance company. Many more companies do accept cryptocurrency payments online. And one more example, as you see in Japan, that's from a couple of years ago. By now it's probably more. There were, a couple of years ago, 4,500 actual walk-in shops that accepted Bitcoin payments, and 5,000 more were planning to start accepting as well. By now, perhaps it's over 10,000 places just in Japan. Anyway, what I'm trying to show here is that the acceptance is growing, okay, the opportunity is growing, so perhaps it could be interesting for you to learn about it, at least for 3 weeks, right? It could be interesting. In addition to being interesting, maybe it can also be beneficial because there are a lot of job opportunities in the blockchain space, in the blockchain industry. Again, let me give you some examples. I have not updated the information for a couple of years, sorry about that. But looking at 2018, I'll give you more examples. We see that according to Upwork is a website where you can try to search for work online, where you can try to search for a job, okay? So Upwork provides these quarterly results by industry. Here's blockchain, here's cloud platform. Here's product photography, right? So different industries. Which are the most largest industry by the number of people they want to hire? As you see in 2018, in mid-2018, blockchain is the largest industry to hire, according to Upwork, in early 2018 as well. And in 2017, as well as in late 2017, it's number 2 and 3. Blockchain and Bitcoin number 2 and 3. The top highest hiring industry is robotics back in 2017. Anyway, attention, thank you very much. So this is just motivation for you to show that the industry is growing and there are interesting opportunities. So at least 3 weeks of your time is really worth it to discover something about this industry, about blockchains and cryptocurrencies. More examples. This is the number of job postings in blockchain space according to Burning Glass Technologies, also a place where you can look for jobs. Okay, it's growing. I didn't update the information, but it's growing really fast. Still very few, only 4,000 jobs in 2017, but it is growing, so that's very interesting. These green bars are also a number of jobs in Bitcoin-related industry. And these are the types of jobs. So you guys are TNH students, right? By the time you graduate, you will learn to become some sort of a manager, is that right? Right? You guys don't do much coding or programming for your 4-year curriculum, right? So you may think, well, it's a blockchain job, perhaps a lot of the work is with coding and programming. How can I do that? And you're right, a lot of the work is about coding and programming, right? But there are other jobs for managers like you, okay? Project management, for example, is just supervising other people, making sure everything is done according to the deadlines, right? Within the deadlines, that's what project management is, right? So there are some interesting employment opportunities in this industry, okay? And the cool thing is, even though the industry is very small, right? Even though the industry is very small, there are even less people who know anything about blockchain or Bitcoin. Very, very few people know about it, right? Which means that the demand for people who know anything about it is very high, which means that the salaries paid to very few who know anything about it are very high. So that's from a couple of years ago. By now, the numbers are even higher. But back from a couple of years ago, the average, that's just the average, salary in blockchain space was around $100,000 per year. The average for the whole United States, the average salary is somewhere around $55,000. So that's nearly double the average pay of everyone else in the US, right? If you look at big places like San Francisco, that's much more. That's maybe something about 4.5 million per year, something like that, right? It's kind of quite nice, quite nice. Not only in the US, in a lot of other places, such as Switzerland as well, the payments for people who know something about it is really, really high, up to what, 5 million per year, something like that. That's pretty good. And that's from a couple of years ago. By now, maybe numbers are even better. But you might say that you are not in London, you are not in Switzerland, you are not in Silicon Valley, not in San Francisco. Well, you are in Taiwan, and even in Taiwan, this industry is growing. The government of Taiwan has recently started this new regulatory organization, new regulatory body called TCBSRO, whatever. Taiwan Crypto Blockchain Self-Regulator Organization. Okay, includes 50 of the largest companies in Taiwan. Okay, so 50 of some of the largest companies in Taiwan are also in this new government body, and they are trying to see how they can apply blockchain technologies to their new tech. Okay, so it's really important for you guys because, I don't know, 10 years later, 15 years later, just like we have internet everywhere, new technologies will be everywhere. For me, it's perhaps fine. I'm going to retire in 10, 15 years anyway, right? But you will have all of your career in the future. So if you want to be competitive, if you want to be successful against a lot of other young kids just like you, right? You're going to learn something new. Okay? So things are changing really fast, and I'm just trying to motivate you to spend these 3 weeks to learn something about blockchain. Okay? And it's going to be pretty simple, right? And more motivation for you if you look at Forbes Global 2000, that includes a lot of some of the largest companies in the world. If you look at 120 largest companies in the world, including, I don't know, Walt Disney, IBM, I don't know, what is IBM? There is Toyota, what is that? I don't know. Some of the large companies, probably you know them, I don't really know them. Just kidding, everybody knows those names, right? 50 out of 120 largest companies in the world, right, already plan to implement blockchain development programs within their companies. Maybe they apply blockchain to some of the data sharing between divisions or whatever, I don't know, right? Even in Taiwan, hospitals in Taiwan are planning to implement data sharing, some kind of projects. I don't really know much about it, but I heard about it, right? So nowadays there are a lot of large companies that are planning to build something about it over the next several years, and that's your opportunity, maybe, if you're interested in this. Okay, but this is a very fast-growing industry. It's still very small because not many people know anything about it, but because it's small, it can grow fast, right? A big industry cannot grow fast, right? For example, let's say drivers. There are millions of drivers all over the world, right? Let's say, for example, 10%, just for example, 10% of everyone in the world is a driver, right? Can this industry, driving industry, grow 20 times larger? Cannot, because there are only 10 times more people in the world, okay? So a large industry can't grow fast, whereas something small can grow really, really fast, okay? Okay, so I'm trying to motivate you guys, right? And I've already been teaching this for a few hours. I get a bit of a sore throat already, sorry. Maybe I'll have to speak a little bit quieter. So a bit of motivation. Okay, next let's move on back to the top. Okay, I want to talk about cryptocurrencies specifically, okay, because it's all related. Blockchain, the most common application for blockchain is cryptocurrency. Okay, although there are other applications as well, smart contracts, for example. Okay, so let's talk about cryptocurrencies a little bit, but before cryptocurrencies, I want to start very, very, very far back in history, and gradually come to cryptocurrencies, gradually see how life has changed over time, okay, to bring us in the modern technologies of cryptocurrencies. So let's start with this example. What is this? This all on the right. What is this? Do you guys know? What is it? Is it 10NT? It's 10NT, right? Okay, very good. And what is this on the left? Do you guys know what it is? This is also 10NT. Really. At the time when your parents were in elementary school, so that's around 50 years ago, this was 10NT, 10 yuan, and this is now 3 yuan. Okay? So 50 years ago, you can use this 10NT to buy 10 lunches, 10 lunch boxes. 3 yuan done, yes? Now, you can't even use this to buy a drink. When I came to Taiwan about 11 years ago in 2010, I used to buy this simple green tea, Lü Cha, yes, from 50T, Wushilan, right? The price was 10 NT. Right now, the price of that drink is 25 NT. Right? It's the most cheapest, simplest drink in Wushilan costs 25 NT. So 11 years ago, I could buy 10 drinks for this 100 NT. Now I can only buy 4. Right? So things are changing a lot, and especially I think money is becoming a bit more abstract. Okay? What is abstract? Abstract is something where you can't really see it, you need to think a little bit, imagine it. It's not something so clear to see. For example, I'll try to speak louder for the computer to hear me, but for example, smart, very smart, right? smarts. You need to imagine, oh, smart means he knows a lot, right? Very smart means knows a lot, probably has tried to do something about it as well, right? So that's more abstract. For table, it's not so abstract. I can see the table, I can touch it, I can put something on the table. Don't need to imagine very much, right? So I think money is becoming more abstract. Long time ago, we used salt, knife blades for money because it's easy to carry. Easy to carry means portable, and because it's useful. I can eat the salt. I kill the animal, you want the meat? Oh, then you have to give me something. Give me the knife, or give me the salt, then I can give you the meat, right? And I can use the salt. I need the salt to survive. Not abstract, very clear. I can eat it. Nice, thank you, right? Then becoming a bit more abstract. This is like 1,000 years ago, this is several hundred years ago, people used to use gold and silver for money, right? And seashells and dolphin teeth also were used for money in some islands, right? I can't really eat gold. I cannot eat silver, right? So it's a little bit more abstract. Why do I need silver? Why do I need gold for money? So it's a bit more abstract, right? It's still easy to carry, so it's still portable, but not really useful. So becoming a bit more abstract, and then more abstract into these gold certificates. Okay, so how are we moving from gold to gold certificates? Well, let's say some rich guy has half a kilo of gold in the pocket. Half a kilo is not too much, but still, it's quite a bit, right? So what if I just keep it in the bank, very safe, and just have a piece of paper saying, this paper represents half a kilo of gold. I give you the paper, then you can take the gold from the bank. Much easier to carry than half a kilo of gold, right? So that's how we got these gold certificates. What is this? Is this $10? Actually, you cannot find this kind of $10 anywhere else because these were removed from circulation in 1933. So that's 90 years ago. If you zoom in a little bit, you'll see it says gold certificate. Nowadays, money doesn't say that. And if you zoom a little, you will see it says in gold coin, payable. Payable, it means you can take gold. If you don't like this paper, bring it back to the bank and they will give you gold. In gold coin, payable to the bearer. Bearer is who has it. On demand. On demand means anytime. Fixed rate. At a fixed rate. At a fixed ratio. Nowadays, I can't exchange this for gold at a fixed ratio, right? Because gold price changes every time. Even drinks become more expensive all the time. So money is becoming a bit more abstract, and back in 1933 we moved from gold certificates to fiat money. Okay, fiat money means money by order, right? This money does not represent gold in the bank, right? It doesn't. Why do we have to use it? Because the law here is that we're going to use antique, right? So that means by decree, by order, right? From Latin, fiat is an order or decree or law. Okay, so that is quite interesting. And another evolution into becoming more abstract. Money has changed from just being paper money. It moved into electronic money, like online banking, right? And credit cards, 신용카, right? So even more and more abstract, because if I pay with a credit card, I go to the restaurant, right? And I get a bill with MCNY or something. I don't give them paper, just give them the plastic, the credit card. It's just a piece of plastic, right? They go away, they come back, what happened? I need to think more abstract, right? So it's becoming more and more abstract, but still kind of understandable. A lot of our grandparents, they still understand credit card, right? They still understand online banking, right? But the last step, I think a lot of people do not understand, especially our grandparents, yeah, and cryptocurrency, they really don't know what it is. And a lot of people don't really know what it is, even if they're younger. Here's an example of a wallet on a phone. This is just a screenshot this is just a screenshot from a telephone, right? You see here something happening, like 1 LTT 9W VQ 1 QIG. What is that? You crazy? What is it? 1 KG NIDWZH5 and what? Of course, older people don't understand anything about it. Okay? So I think money is becoming more and more abstract because we need to use more and more of our brain to understand how things work, right? So I think it's really useful for you to kind of learn something about it, and this is what we're going to do over the next 3 weeks. Okay. So we'll talk about blockchain and a little bit about Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So what is Bitcoin? It's just a virtual currency, right? Same as virtual currency in your computer games, right? This, I don't really play on the phone, but I like to play on the computer. My favorite game is World of Tanks. I don't know if you heard it or not, doesn't really matter. But you have your gold coins there, you need to buy more equipment for your tanks and things like that, right? So computer games, we have already used computer games for what, 50 years or 60 years, right? So the virtual currency, in-game currency, is nothing new. But cryptocurrency is new. The first one only appeared in 2009. So what is the difference? Right? Bitcoin price is 1.3 million NT. One Bitcoin, the price of one Bitcoin is 1.3 million NT. But the money inside the computer game doesn't worth anything. What's the difference? They're both virtual currency, right? Well, the difference is in the networks. Okay, the difference is in the networks. So let's talk about networks. Let me start drawing. So let's say this is the company who made my favorite computer game, right? This is the World of Tanks, okay? And let's say I want to play this game. If I want to play this game, where am I? Here am I. Probably maybe longer because I'm old. And some other people on the internet. So we all play against each other. We try to shoot each other, right? But if I want to play, I don't really connect directly to this guy. I don't connect directly to this guy. We all need to first connect to the computer game, right? Is that right? Because if I don't have the internet on my phone or on my computer, I cannot play, right? It cannot connect. So we all need to connect first to the company who is making this game, right? So this is called centralized network. There is one center, the game creator, which says, okay, you have 3 tanks, you have 2 tanks, you have 3 tanks and 5 coins, you have 1 tank and this equipment or something, right? So if I cannot connect to the internet, if I cannot connect to the company server is a big computer that is sharing the data with the internet, right? If I cannot connect to the company server, I cannot play, I cannot download what I have. What do I have on my account? Okay, that is a centralized network. Here's an example of a centralized network. Like this. Everyone needs to connect to the center, and the center is telling us who has what, who's got what. Okay. Another example of a centralized network is regular money, right? So let's talk about Taiwan. Taiwan is over here, and let's talk about Philippines. Philippines is over here, very nearby, right? If I send money from Taiwan to Philippines, do you guys know that it doesn't actually go directly? So strange. It doesn't go directly, even though these two are so near. If I send US dollars, it first has to go to far away New York, you know? Oh my God, so far. And then come back. Oh, so long. How crazy. This is so near. Why go there and then back? Because this is also a centralized network. Okay? Because, of course, if I'm using real paper, I don't need to send this to New York and then send it back to you, right? Even if it's US dollars. But if it's electronic transaction, online banking, all those online banking balances and everything are just like for the computer game, the balances of how much money you have in the game, all kept by these large correspondence banks. They're called correspondence banks. There are only several, 4 or 5 largest correspondence banks in the US that keep track of all of the US dollar transactions. Same with euro. If you send euro from Taiwan to Philippines, you first need to go to Frankfurt in Germany, right? Then come back to Philippines because it's a centralized network, right? With Bitcoin, the difference is that the network is decentralized, okay? Decentralized. There's no center. There's no one guy who says, oh, you got 2 Bitcoins? Yeah, that's correct. You got 3 Bitcoins? Oh, yeah, that's right. Ah, you think you have 10 Bitcoins on your phone? No, 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 you have 0, right? There's no one guy who will say this, right? The network includes many participants, many people, right? And all of them are the same, so it's called peer, peer-to-peer network. Peer is something on the same level with you. For example, my boss, Steve, is not my peer because he's higher level, right? But my colleague who will teach this class after I finish, right, is my peer. We're on the same level, okay? So a Bitcoin network does not have a center. Everyone is equal. So that's a peer network, peer-to-peer network. And it works using blockchain. Okay. So what is blockchain? Okay, what is blockchain? Let's try to understand what is blockchain. And first of all, blockchain is just a list of transactions. You know a list like when you go shopping for your parents, they give you a list to buy. Okay, buy the bread, milk, and noodles. Right? That's a list of things to buy. Okay. Blockchain is just a list of transactions. That's all. The difference between any regular list and a blockchain, why blockchain is a list of transactions, then what else is so special about blockchain? So special is something that is distributed. It's basically a list that is copied thousands of times. So let's create our own blockchain. Blockchain does not have to be electronic. It even can be done on paper. We're going to do that now. Okay? So I'm going to have 4 of you guys here. All right? Here, here, and here. Let's actually create our own blockchain. I'm going to tell you what to write down. You will all write down, okay? And we will have 5 copies because I'll also write down. And this will be blockchain. So, let's do this. Let's say we have Let's say we have 5 gamblers. 5 gamblers. Let's say we want to play cards, right? I, you, right? 5 of us, right? Because I'm also going to write down things on the computer, right? So let's say we are world famous gamblers, right? World famous poker players, like really big deal would come together in Las Vegas. People are going to show us on TV. So we're really going to play now, but unfortunately we forgot to bring the money, right? So what are we going to do? Let's just take out a piece of paper and write down who is winning what and how much and from whom. Right? And tomorrow, I will just actually pay for those notes on the table. Okay? So let's do that. But the problem is, who's going to write it down? Right? If I ask him to write down, then maybe I win $100 from him, and he just write down 10. Then tomorrow he will give me only $10, not $100, right? So when I don't trust anyone here, when we don't trust each other, what we could do is we all write down our transactions. I will write down everything, and he will write down everything, and you 3 will also write down everything. So it will become a blockchain. It will be a list of transactions, list of winnings and losses, right? And all copy. That's all. This is a blockchain. So follow me. Can you guys write down that? Let's say we each start with $100. Let's say we have 5 gamblers, Adam, Ben, ABC. You don't need to write down whole name. ABC. $100 each. Let's say this is the starting balance, right? And then let's say we play a round of games. So we can just ABCD, 100 each. The first round, instead of round 1, I'm just going to call it page. On the first page, because later I want to please. A lost to B $1. I'll bring it up a little. A lost to B $1, B lost to C $5, and D lost to C $8, for example, right? Then next round of gains, can you please write down? B lost to C $3, C lost to A $1, and C lost to D $1. Here it is, we have a blockchain. That's it. I have this on my records. You have 4 more exact copies, right? Right? Did you finish? You got a copy, right? Did you finish? You got a copy. Did you finish? Did you finish? Oh, 4 copies, 5 copies, I'm sorry. And now let's say I'm, I don't know, let's say I'm B, for example, right? And let's say I will be tricky. I'm tricky, I'm gonna put a 0 here, bump, right? And let's say you are Alan, A, right? And I'm D, Bob, let's say, right? I come to you, I bring my paper, say, you see, yesterday you lost $10 to me, give me $10. I'm trying to cheat, I'm trying to defraud you, right? Instead of $1, I'm trying to take $10, right? You're like, no, it's 1, right? And I'm like, no, it's 10. Whose word is it? Right? So what we need to do is we need to check with others. That's how blockchain works. Okay? So that's blockchain. That is all. Okay, extremely simple. We already have a blockchain, simple blockchain on paper. And in the same idea, the blockchain works for Bitcoin. How does it look like? Okay, let's have a look at that. Maybe we'll have a look at that after the